me start from the part nobody prepares you for. The decision is done. You have already committed. And that's exactly when your mind suddenly becomes noisy. Not before you chose, after you chose. If you have recently chosen a career path, a college, a stream, or even accepted a job offer, and suddenly you feel more anxious now than you felt during the decision making, this video is for you. Because post-decision, doubt doesn't always mean the same thing. And if you react to it blindly, you can create unnecessary damage. Namaste. I'm Preeti Durga and welcome to Career Crafting Conversations. I want to set the frame clearly because this episode is not here to confuse you further. This is not a choose again video. It's not a passion video. It's not even a trust your gut video. This is a stabilization conversation. And I'm saying that because I have seen this pattern repeatedly with students right after stream decisions, with parents right after admissions, and with professionals right after a role switch. People assume if doubt is coming now, the decision must be wrong. That's not always true. Sometimes doubt is just your brain reacting to finality. And sometimes doubt is actually a signal that you didn't have enough proof before you committed. Both exist. Both are valid, but the response should be different. So today, I'll help you identify what kind of doubt you are dealing with and what to do next without spiraling. Let me give you a very real moment I see again and again. A student's admission is confirmed. Parents are relieved. Everyone says, finally sorted. 2 days later, the student is lying in bed, scrolling, and suddenly starts thinking, did I choose too fast? What if I missed out? What if this closes doors? Nothing bad has happened, no new negative event, but the mind starts behaving like a CCTV camera scanning for risk. Or take a professional who just accepted an offer. Family is happy, first weeks go okay, then one evening someone casually asks, so are you sure this is the right move? And boom, that one sentence becomes a loop in the head. This is important. The destabilization often starts after commitment, not because something is wrong, but because the brain now realizes, okay, this is real. There's no second draft. Because if you misunderstand this phase, you'll do one of the two extreme things. Either you'll panic and start undoing progress too soon, or you'll suppress the doubt and pretend it doesn't exist until it explodes later. Both are costly. For students, it can lead to constant comparison, second guessing, and loss of confidence right when they need stability to adapt. For professionals, it can lead to performance anxiety, not because they can't do the job, but because their mind is split between I should settle and I should escape. And for parents, this becomes painful because you want to help, but repeated re-questioning actually increases instability. The real risk is this: your brain starts learning that discomfort equals danger. And once the brain learns that, it becomes harder to commit to anything, even good decisions. So we need a smarter approach. Stay with me till the end because I'm going to give you a simple free tool. You can literally screenshot it. It's a 2-part filter that helps you quickly tell, is this doubt just post-decision brain noise, or is this doubt coming because you committed without enough real proof? And once you know that, you will know what to do next. Either you stabilize or stop reopening the decisions, or you build proof calmly without panic and decide your next steps with clarity. No complicated frameworks, no jargons, just a clean way to stop that spiral. So let me explain what's happening in a simple way. When you were deciding, your brain was in an open tabs mode. Multiple options were available. Even if you weren't going to take them, they were still open. The moment you commit, the brain registers closure, and closure triggers a very common human response called loss sensitivity. Your mind starts focusing not on what you chose, but on what you closed. That's why thoughts show up like, what if I lose opportunities? What if I can't reverse this? Also, after commitment, the brain moves from deciding mode to protecting mode. Earlier, you were evaluating. Now, you are threat monitoring. So, one big reframe is post-decision doubt can be the brain adjusting to finality. But here's the honest part, and this matters for trust. Sometimes doubt is not just finality, sometimes it's because the decision was made with incomplete proof, which brings us to the most important part. So, what do we do without getting stuck in a loop? First, we need to separate the two types of doubt. Type 1 is finality doubt. It sounds like what if, what if, what if. It's repetitive, urgent, and it doesn't bring new data. It brings just pressure. Type 2 is proof doubt. It sounds like I don't actually know what the day-to-day reality is. It's more specific. It asks real questions. It doesn't just scream fear. It asks for evidence. Now here's the free 2-part filter. I want you to pause and actually answer it. Question 1. If I stop researching and comparing for 2 weeks, will this doubt reduce? If the answer is yes, you're likely dealing with finality doubt. Your nervous system is still settling. In that case, your job is not to reevaluate the decision. Your job is to stabilize, build routine, let familiarity grow. This is where a simple rule helps. Do not reopen the decision in the first 30-60 days unless something is genuinely extreme. Let the mind settle first, then review calmly if needed. Now, question 2. What proof did I not have when I committed? If you can name all the missing proof clearly, like I never spoke to someone doing this role, or I never experienced a real sample of this work, or I chose only based on marks, trends, pressure, then you're dealing with proof doubt. And proof doubt doesn't need panic, it needs structured evidence. So instead of saying I should quit or say I should test reality, you do 3 calm things. You speak to 2 people who are actually living this path. Not coaching centers, not marketing pages, real people. You observe 1 real sample day. A class, a project, a shadowing experience, even a detailed routine breakdown. And you ask one honest question, can I see myself doing this repeatedly? Not perfectly. Parents, your role here is extremely crucial. If your child is in finality doubt, your job is stability, not backup plans. If your child is in proof doubt, your job is support for evidence, not shame. And one last line I want you to remember, not all doubt means stop. Some doubt means settle. Some doubts means gather proof. Now just imagine this for a moment. You stop fighting the doubt like it's an enemy. You stop treating it like a verdict. You simply understand it. If it's finality doubt, you give yourself permission to settle. You allow the mind to quiet down because the decision has stopped being a threat and started becoming familiar. And if it's a proof doubt, you feel relief because you finally know what to do. You don't have to collapse into panic. You just have to build evidence like a mature decision maker. This is what calm commitment looks like. Not blind confidence, not forced motivation, just clarity about the phase you are in. If this episode helped you, do one simple thing today. Use the 2-question filter, screenshot it, write your answers, and give yourself 7 days of stability before you take any drastic steps. And if you know someone a student, a parent, a professional who's spiraling after choosing, share this video with them. Because sometimes the most helpful thing is not advice, it's the right lens at the right time. Doubt after commitment is not automatically a red flag. Sometimes it's the brain adjusting to finality. Sometimes it's the brain asking for better proof. The mistake is reacting before you know which one it is. I'm Preeti Durga, signing off from Career Crafting Conversations, where we don't just talk about careers, we create fulfilling futures.